Psychology. Some students might be interested in psychology but not know really what it's about. So what is psychology? Psychology is a science. It's a social science. It's a study of the human mind and human behaviour and actions. So looking at why people might think a certain way or why people might behave a certain way. Psychology is not anything to do with mind reading or magic. It's also not an easy GCSE. There's lots of complicated vocabulary that you have to learn. GCSE Psychology is split into two examination papers. Paper 1 is mainly covered in Year 10 and Paper 2 is mainly covered in Year 11. Paper 1 involves the following topics. Memory, looking at why some people might forget information and while other people may remember large amounts of information. Perception, looking at visual illusions and why people might see things differently to others. Development, looking at how children's learning and thinking changes and develops over time. Research methods. This looks at how psychologists carry out research in order to support hypotheses. It includes scientific methods such as laboratory experiments and other methods such as interviews or questionnaires. Paper 2. Paper 2 includes topics such as social influence, looking at obedience, why some people always obey orders and why other people don't follow the crowds. Language, thought and communication, looking at how people communicate with each other, not just through words, but things like non-verbal communication. The brain and neuropsychology. This looks at how the brain affects the way in which we think and behave. And finally, psychological problems. This covers things such as mental health, addiction and depression. Key skills that will be developed during the psychology course include demonstrating knowledge and understanding, because you'll have to be able to describe and explain the key terms, theories and studies that we look at. Applying that knowledge and understanding to real life situations and being able to evaluate psychological theories and research, looking at why these things are good, but also looking at limitations and criticisms of them. How will you be assessed? Paper 1 is worth 50% of your overall grade and Paper 2 is worth the other 50% of your overall grade. There is no coursework for GCSE Psychology. Each exam is an hour and 45 minutes and will consist of a variety of different types of questions. Multiple choice, short answers and extended written answers such as 9-mark essay style questions, all of which we'll practice in lessons in the lead up to the exam so that you'll feel confident in how to tackle these types of questions. Psychology fits in with a wide range of careers. Obviously there are psychology specific jobs such as being a counsellor, a sports psychologist or a therapist, for example. But other jobs such as a police officer, human resources manager or a childcare worker may also find links with psychology. Basically any job that involves working with other people, then psychology may be useful. You can see some of the things that previous GCSE psychology students have said about the course. On the whole, they enjoy the lessons, they enjoy taking part in the studies that we create, and they feel that the lessons involve a variety of activities. However, they also acknowledge that psychology is not an easy subject and there's lots to remember in preparation for the exam. Good luck with your option choices. If you want any further information about GCSE Psychology, please feel free to speak to Miss Natalie Denton or Miss Sarah Lundy. We are both situated on the end of the Maths corridor in rooms 308 and 309.